The story about Central Region that nobody didn't talks about. The Central Region didn't migrate. They stayed while the world moved. When people talk about migration in Ghana, they always talk about movement. Who came from where? Who conquered who? Who arrived last? But the story of the Central Region is different. The truth is uncomfortable for neat timelines, so it's often skipped. The Central Region didn't move much. The world moved into them. Before Ghana had a name, long before Fante, before Central Region, before even Ghana, the land between the sea and the forest was already occupied, quietly, steadily, permanently. The people didn't arrive in waves. They settled early and refused to be uprooted. While other groups migrated inland following gold, fertile land, or wars, the coastal peoples made a different choice. They stayed where land meets ocean. That decision changed everything. The migration nobody mentions. Here's the part nobody really explains. The Central Region wasn't shaped by a single migration. It was shaped by constant absorption. Small clans from the forest zone, families escaping northern conflicts, hunters drifting south, fisherfolk following the tides. They didn't arrive as conquerors. They arrived as guests. And instead of pushing them out, the coastal communities did something rare. They merged. Languages blended, drums changed rhythm, lineages intertwined. Over time, Fante didn't mean one bloodline. It meant people who learned to live together by the sea. Why the sea changed everything. The ocean made the Central Region different from the start. Inland kingdoms measured power by land and warriors. The coast measured power by knowledge. Knowledge of tides, knowledge of trade winds, knowledge of strangers. So when foreigners arrived, first traders, then Europeans, the Central Region didn't panic. They had been dealing with outsiders for generations. This is the quiet truth. The people of the Central Region were already experts in cultural survival before colonization. They knew how to negotiate, how to observe before reacting, how to adapt without disappearing. Migration without leaving home. Here's the line that flips everything. Other groups migrated by moving their bodies. The Central Region migrated by expanding their world without moving their feet. Ideas came to them. Goods came to them. People came to them. They didn't chase empire. They became a crossroads. That's why Central Region culture feels layered. Why its traditions feel both ancient and flexible. Why its people often act as intermediaries between north and south, forest and sea, Africa and the world. Why this story is rarely told because it doesn't fit the dramatic version of history. No giant march. No single heroic ancestor. No one moment you can point to and say, it started here. It's a slow story, a patient story, a story of staying when everyone else was leaving. And maybe that's why it's powerful. The hidden legacy. The Central Region didn't migrate to become something else. They stayed and became everything at once. African and global, rooted and adaptive, ancient and modern. Not because they were conquered, but because they learned early that survival isn't always about movement. Sometimes survival is knowing when to stay.